Hey guys, it's Chef from Pressure Luck, and today I've partnered once again with one of my favorite brands in the world, Better Than Bouillon. I mean, are you surprised? You know how much I love this stuff. If you first heard about this product through me, I'm thrilled because it's one of my favorite things in the entire world, and I'm glad I can share wonderful things with you. Specifically, we're gonna focus on their garlic base. Yes, Better Than Bouillon doesn't just do chicken broth or beef broth or a vegetable broth. No, they go further. With garlic broth, they have lobster broth, they have fish broth, they have chili. So many flavors, it's hard to keep track, honestly, and every single one of them is incredible. It's a base where we just mix a little bit of the base with some water, and poof, we have a cup of broth. I'll explain how to do that in the recipe. So today I wanted to share a recipe that was just beyond your garlic dreams, like your wildest garlic dreams. This is gonna create the most outrageous, creamy, garlicky pasta with chicken in there. I'm just gonna call it, you know, chicken garlic pasta or garlic chicken pasta. I'm gonna use ziti as my noodle because I like the tubes. It's great for sucking up that garlicky, cheesy Parmesan sauce that's gonna be in there. Do I need to even talk anymore about this? We're gonna go right to the Instant Pot and make the most amazing garlic chicken pasta thanks to garlic better than bouillon. Let's do it. We're gonna start off with 2 large shallots, and we're just gonna dice it up into little pieces just like that. Now for the next step, which is obviously key in this recipe, is garlic. And normally, you know me, I take a cheat way out and a way that just saves some time, because typically it doesn't make any difference if you use jarred garlic that's already minced or crushed or whatever for you or pressed. But in this case, I actually want to slice these into slivers. And fresh garlic in this recipe, to me, is important to use because, well, it is chicken garlic pasta or garlic chicken pasta. So I'm just going to slice them up. And there we have it, cut into slivers. This is about 20 or so generously sized cloves of garlic. And by the way, a quick tip, just buy them pre-shelled already, or peeled, I should say. Get your garlic, you can find it in the market, typically either in a little plastic bin or in a little baggie, where they've already peeled them for you. It's sticky, it's annoying. So if you want to go this route, which I do suggest instead of just using some jarred garlic, and if you do that, by the way, you can also find sometimes the garlic sliced into slivers in a jar. Just use about, this is about, I'd say, half a cup worth. That's enough. But there you go, guys. All this garlic nice and slivered. Let's move on. I want to take between 1.5 to 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. However, you can use breasts if you want. Slice into bite-sized pieces with some of the fat trimmed off. The best you can with the fat trimmed off. Okay, now it's time to make our broth, and a key ingredient for this to make it extra garlicky, after all, this is garlic chicken pasta, is to use one of my favorite things in the world, Better Than Bouillon, specifically their roasted garlic base, or garlic base as I've come to just know it as, but let's get fancy, we'll call it roasted garlic base. And the way that Better Than Bouillon works, it's a concentrate here, you see you screw it off, and you see that? It's a lovely base. It's 1 teaspoon of base per 1 cup of water equals 1 cup of broth. In this situation, I want 3 cups of broth, so I'm using 3 cups of water, and I'll use 3 teaspoons of base mixed with it, or a tablespoon. The same thing, 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. Now, the water doesn't have to be hot at this moment because we're going to be pressure cooking it, and that's when everything's going to get hot and meld into each other. So for the time being, I just use like warm water from the sink. That's totally fine. It just helps blend it around a little bit in there when we mix it up. So there we go, a nice tablespoon of my Better Than Bouillon garlic. Add it to my 3 cups of water, and then just stir it around, and it'll dissolve pretty well in there. All right, perfect. To the Instant Pot, I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to give that some heat. Now let's go down to that pretty control panel on your Instant Pot. Hit the saute button, and don't worry about the time. Just always keep it at 30 minutes. That's the max that lets you saute, and then if it runs out of time, you can just re-saute and hit the button again. It's no big deal. At the high setting or the more setting, depending on your model. Now, also depending on your model, you'll have to hit that start button to get going, or if you don't have a start button, after a few moments of doing nothing, it'll go into the function on its own. Different pots, different rules, but they all do the same thing. Alright, and once our oil is heated, I'm going to take all that garlic and add it to the pot. And I'm going to saute that garlic in the olive oil for about 5 or so minutes until the garlic really begins to brown nicely. Want to give it some color here. And the aroma immediately, people at this point are going to be coming out of the rooms in the house that aren't the kitchen because the whole house is going to smell like heaven. And they're going to be like, what are you cooking in there? And you get to tell them, you'll see in just a minute. Just hold your horses. Now garlic likes to stick to stainless steel, so every so often give it a little stir as you saute. Ooh, we're looking good so far. Look at that. Getting nice and brown. We'll do this for about 3 to 5 minutes. It all depends on how brown you do like your garlic. We just don't want it to burn. Okay, and now we are looking perfect. You see that? Nice and brown. About 3 to 5 minutes of sauteing. What I like to do now is just preserve a little bit of the garlic. Take a few pieces. And we're going to save this for just some garnish at the very end. There we go. Marvelous. All right. Now to the pot. We're going to add in those beautiful shallots. Saute the shallots with the garlic. And this is actually going to slow down any of the garlic's cooking process here, because the shallots also release water while they cook. Any vegetable does, really. We're just going to saute the shallots for about a minute. They're going to soften up when they pressure cook anyway. And as we're sauteing our shallot, let's make sure we deglaze or scrape the bottom of the pot, making sure it's free of any brown bits from the garlic when it was sauteing. Perfect. And now we're going to take that chicken and we're going to add that to the pot. And we're going to saute for about another 2 to 3 minutes until the chicken just becomes pinkish white in color. Now while you're sauteing in the pot, it's always good to make sure you scrape the sides down to make sure everything gets sauteed. Okay, and after a couple of minutes of sauteing the chicken, you'll see it becomes a pinkish white color. It definitely shouldn't be fully cooked by now. That's going to happen when we pressure cook. Now we're going to add in that wonderful broth brought to you by Garlic Better Than Bouillon, as well as 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. And we'll give all that a stir in the pot. Now, if any of the garlic appeared a little crispy to you, it's going to soften up as it pressure cooks. All right. Wonderful. Now it's time for our pasta, and in this situation, I like to use ZD. I'm going to use a whole box of it, or a pound. Just add it to the pot. I'm not going to stir it in. I'm simply going to take my spatula or mixing spoon and just press it down so it's mostly submerged in the broth. It's fine if some of it sticks above it. It'll all cook wonderfully. Okay, and that's all I want to do. I'm not going to put butter on it now. I'll add that later because there's enough going on with the oil, and the chicken's going to release some fat as it cooks into the amazing ziti. It's going to be wondrous. I'm going to secure my lid, make sure that I'm in the sealing position, which I automatically am with this model, the Duo Plus. All right, now let's go back to our control panel and hit the cancel button, or the keep warm / cancel button if your model shares that, and then hit the pressure cook button or the manual button depending on your model. And then we're gonna go for 6 minutes at high pressure, and that's it. Let's do it. And now that we're done pressure cooking, we'll perform a quick release. And now that the pin dropped, we can take our lid off, and it already smells incredible in here. And there's my pasta, looking great. Look, give it all a stir. And wonderful. You see that? We still have some broth in there. That's what we want, because the broth is going to be the sauce base. All right, let's put the finishing touches on this. I'm gonna add in 4 tablespoons or a half a stick of salted butter, a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and there's no such thing as too much garlic in this one, my friends. A whole tablespoon of garlic powder or granulated garlic. And we're gonna give that all a stir until everything is melded together in this pot. The garlic, the cheese, the butter, everything. Looking amazing. Now, if you want to, you can always add some more cheese. If you could start with a half a cup. If you want more, you can add up to another half a cup. You don't have to add an entire half a cup. You don't even have to add any more cheese at all. That's simply up to you. I like it a little bit cheesy. And after you stir everything in and everything becomes nice and melded into a wonderful sauce, you see this? It's already getting nice and thick. Basically anything that looked watery before is not at all now. Let it rest for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then it's really gonna come together, and then we're gonna serve this amazingness up. And lastly, you can also add in, if you wish, about a splash of cream, heavy cream or half and half. It's not necessary, you don't have to add that. It just gives it a slightly creamier touch, which in my opinion works wonderfully with this dish especially. And how much should I add in? About a tablespoon or 2, that's about it. And my friends, there we have it. Garlic chicken pasta. All right, let's plate it up. And there we have it. The pasta in a bowl and that wondrous garlic Parmesan sauce. Now, if you've reserved some of that garlic, like I said before, feel free to top it off with a few pieces. And placement is everything for a photo. And why not finish it off with some garlic bread on the side? Why not? Let's just go garlic crazy. Let's keep all the vampires away. And if you want the recipe for the most amazing garlic bread, I also use Better Than Bouillon for that, and I'll link to that in the recipe. All right, let's serve this up. And my friends, here we go. This pasta, look at how creamy it is, and garlicky and cheesy. Look at that. Let's do it. It's like my garlic dreams came true. Oh boy. I don't even know where to begin. The cheesiness of it, how perfectly the noodles are cooked, how tender the chicken is, or of course, how garlicky the entire unbelievable pasta itself is. I mean, it's just tons of garlic galore, but not overkill. This is actually the perfect excuse if you're like on a date with somebody and you want to take it slow and impress them, and you kind of just want it to end there. Let's just have a nice dinner, no smooching afterwards. Make this. This is the perfect thing for that. It'll keep you both away from each other that way. Great for social distancing. I could eat this all day. I mean, I'm not going to. Summer's almost around the corner. Better Than Bouillon, you help make this dish into something extra special. Thank you for that. I love you. I love you so much. All right, the garlic bread. I gotta do the garlic bread. Let's do it. You know what? I just put some of the pasta on the garlic bread, and you know what? Not mad about it. Not mad at all. Heaven. Heaven. My friends, if you enjoyed these recipes, check out PressureLoveCooking.com because I have tons of recipes there. I'm also the author of not one, not two, but 3 cookbooks. The orange one, which is the original step-by-step, the blue one, which is the lighter one, and my most recent baby, the yellow one, which is the Simple Comfort step-by-step Instant Pot cookbook. Every one of my recipes and every one of my books has gorgeous step-by-step color photos showing you what to do, so there's no guessing, and also a timing bar, so there's no guessing in of how long it should take. It's all there for you, no guesswork. To see where you can get these amazing Better Than Bouillon products apart from your supermarket, check out betterthanbouillon.com. Go right to the source. Find out all the information there that you want to know about this wonderful product. And follow me on my social channels. Pressure Luck Cooking on all of them, like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of them. Thanks again, guys. And this pasta right here is so unbelievably addictingly delicious that you're not only going to just be licking your lips, you're going to be garlicking your lips. You know what I'm saying? Garlic. You get it, right? With that accent of mine. Oi, gewalt. Enjoy.